Hey boys and girls, today we're going to look at lesson 11.6 in our math books. It's found on page 641 and it's about using strategies to practice with our subtraction. So we've gone over lots of strategies last week and this week in topic 11, such as using our hundreds chart to subtract, or using open number lines, using models, drawing pictures, or using tens and ones blocks, or even doing mental math, which is thinking in your head. We've also talked about using related addition facts to help us when we subtract. So now, in this topic, it's kind of a review and a way to practice the strategies that work best for you. So on page 641, it says, solve the subtraction problem. Use the strategy you think works best. So the way that one of you does it might be different than the way that another person does it, but they could both be correct because it's saying what you think, your opinion. So you're going to use the way that you feel most comfortable with. So our problem today is 60 minus 40, and here's my whiteboard. I wrote it on so I had more room, and I could solve it using a model, right? So if I had 60, we know that there are 6 tens in 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could draw 60, and then I could cross out 40. So there are 4 tens in 40. So I could say 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 tens minus 4 tens equals 2 tens. And we know that 6 tens equals 60, and 4 tens is really 40, and we know that 2 tens is 20. So 60 minus 40 equals 20. I could show it with a model just like that. I could show it on an open number line. Remember, with our subtraction open number line, since we know we're going backwards, we always want to put our first number down towards the end to give us enough room to move backwards. So I'll put my 60 down there, and I want to hop back 40. Well, I know that there are 4 tens in the number 40, so I'm going to do 4 hops. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I do hops backward, each hop, minus 10, minus 10, minus 10, minus 10. 10, 10, 10, 10. 10, 20, 30, 40. Right? 4 tens. We did 4 hops backwards. Each hop backward was minus 10. So 60, 10 less is 50, 40, 30, 20. We can fill in our numbers after. So 60 back 40 would still get us to the same answer of 20. You can do it that way. That works. I'll take it. You could also use a hundreds chart. Put your finger on the 60, and we know that when you move up to the top, to the top, 10 less, 10 less, to the floor, 10 more, 10 more. Well, subtract is less. So if I'm at 60 and I want to go back 40, there are 4 tens, so that means I'm going to be going to the top 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look where I landed. I got 20 there too. Okay. Another way that I like to look at it, and the book didn't go over this way, but your parents probably know this way, and it's an easier way, in my opinion, but you might want to use one of the other ones. It's totally up to you. I like to take my 2 numbers and line them up on top of each other. So when I do that, my 1s are matched up and my 10s are matched up. So when I look at it like this, I can take my hand and I can cover. What's 0 minus 0? What's 6? Take away 4. Just like that, right? Or you could even think about it like this. 6 tens, if you don't want to mess with the zeros. 4 tens equals 6 minus 4. 2 tens. It's the same kind of idea. because 2 tens is 20. So you can use the method that is easiest for you on this page and throughout this next lesson. So if I turn the page, and now I'm looking on page 642, and there's a little lesson up at the top. It says Josh needs to shovel snow from 50 driveways. He has already shoveled 30 of them. How many driveways does he have left? Well, we need to ask ourselves, okay, what are our numbers? We're starting with 50. That's how many he had to know. And then he already did 30 of them. So we want to know have left tells us we need to subtract. So here our math problem, our equation is 50 minus 30. Okay. One way you can solve it is the hundreds chart. We know that there are 3 tens in 30. So we could start at 50 and hop to the top 3 times to land at the 20. You could also use the open number line like I just showed you the same way. 3 tens is 3 hops backwards on an open number line. And you could also think addition to subtract. All right, well, he's done 30. He has some more to go. So 30 plus what is going to get us to 50? Well, 30, 40, 50. That's 2 tens, that's 20. So it's another way. You could also draw a picture. You could draw your, I don't want to draw in the book. You could draw 50, your 50, show 50. And then you can cross out 30. 1, 2, 3, and then you would have 2 tens left. Right? Or you could line them up like this. 50 minus 30. 0 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 3 is 2. All the same answer, right? And all different strategies to use. So you use what's best for you. Let's look on page 642. There is a partial hundreds chart, which means that it's just a piece of a hundreds chart. And what they want, it says to use the partial hundreds chart or another strategy. So if you're not feeling the hundreds chart, you can do a model. You can do it in your head. You can do whatever way works for you. So let's look at 60 minus 20. Okay, well, I know that 60 is 6 tens, and I know that 20 is 2 tens. So 6 minus 2 is what? That's right, 40. Okay, number 3, 43 minus 10. I'm going to do mental math there, because I know that I just need to take this number in the tens place and go 1 less, right? So 1 less than 4 is 3, and my ones stay the same. For this one, I will use the hundreds chart. So I'm going to start at the 70, and there are 3 tens in 30, so that means 3 hops up. 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3. And here's where I land, 40. Okay, so that was just showing you a few different ways. I want you to move on and do page 643 on your own. And you can use any strategy that works best for you here. On number 11, it's a little word problem, same exact practice except with words. It says Jacob designs a robot that completes an obstacle course in 54 seconds. Clara designs a robot that completes the same course in 10 fewer. So 10 fewer is another way of saying 10 less. In 10 fewer seconds than Jacob's robot. How many seconds does Clara's robot take to complete the obstacle course? Here we need to plug in our numbers. So this one is 54 seconds. Clara's is 10 less, 10 less. And then you're going to put your answer in here. And you're also going to put that same answer right in there. On the back is some more practice with word problems. It says Charlie puts baseball cards into an album. He already put 10 cards in the album. He has 83 in all. How many cards does he have left to put in the album? So here's my two numbers, 83 and 10. I want to figure out 10 less than 83 and put it on that line. Number 13, Pearl's basketball team scores 50 points in one game. They score some points in the first half. We don't know how many. And they score 20 in the second half. How many did they score in the first half? Well, to find that out, we need to find the difference between these two numbers. And you can do that any way, any strategy you choose to figure out 50, take away 20. And you put your answer right there. Number 14, you're going to write your own subtraction problem for which you would think addition to subtract. So the person, you're going to pretend that you're making a problem for somebody, one of your friends, to solve. And which time you're going to write your own problem. So somebody has a certain number of something and then they're going to lose some. So you're going to end up with a subtraction problem. And why would they want to think, why would addition to subtract be the easiest way to solve it for them? So that one takes a little more thinking, but it's basically you're writing your own word problem that somebody would use addition to subtract strategy. So that's the strategy, addition to subtract, that they want you to be like, oh yeah, you know what? The easiest way to solve your problem is to use addition to subtract. All right, and number 15, explain how you would use a hundreds chart to solve 60 minus 20. So all you need to do is say, I would start at, tell me where you're going to start, and tell me how many hops you're going to move and in which direction. That's all they want you to do there. Some extra practice is on page 645. They give you another little mini lesson here with using addition to subtract and how we can count up, right? And they want you to use the number line to solve these problems. So they want you to practice again with these number lines. So number 1, you're going to start at the 40. You're going to hop minus 20. So remember, there are 2 10s and 20, so that would be 2 hops back. So use that number line for those 3 problems. And then on the back is your word problems. Solve 80 minus 30 using any strategy you choose. So you can draw a picture. You can use a hundreds chart. You can do it in your head. You can line it up, whatever you want to do. And then just tell me which one you used. I used an open number line. I used a hundreds chart. I used mental math, which means I did it in my head. Right? And number 5 says, write a related addition equation for the subtraction equation. So taking it back to fact families. These are our 3 numbers that are in the family. They live in the house together with nobody else. So we want to take these 3 numbers and switch them around to make a related addition fact. Well, think about where the biggest number goes in a subtraction problem, right at the beginning. And then think about where that bigger number is going to move in an addition problem. And then the other 2 numbers you can just plug in anywhere, right? Number 6, would you choose to use a hundreds chart to solve 90 minus 80? Why or why not? So that's just asking you, is that how you would solve that? Or would you do something else? That's totally up to you, what you would do. And you're just going to say, yeah, I would use a hundreds chart. Or, no, I would use mental math. Or, no, I would use a number line. Whatever way you want to explain it. And number 7, explain how you can use a number line to solve 70 minus 50. So back on the other page, you had to explain how you would use a hundreds chart. Here, you're going to explain how you'd use a number line. So you'd say, I'd start at 70, and I would hop back this many. Right? So you're just teaching, basically. You're going to be the teacher and teach how you would use a number line to solve that one. All right? All right. Good luck.